What is up, guys? You got NotTheWorst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today taking a look at a frequently asked question, or questions rather, for what items I prepare to do my enhancing streams each Saturday, as far as how many materials that I get ready for it each session. So I figured to go ahead and put this into a video so I can point people towards that when we're doing it. So it varies a little bit depending on how long I plan on doing the enhancing stream, but I'll tell you on average what I look for to do. The goal for each enhancing stream has been to get at least one pen attempt in each weekend when we do it on Saturday nights. That's always been the target goal for it. So doesn't always happen with the number of materials that I get for it. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you get multiple attempts. I've had 6 attempts this way, but it's not always a guarantee. So in general, you want to have, or at least what I do, is about 400 memory fragments. It's not a crazy amount, but to try and get your backup piece that's usually starting at Pry for the week, to try and get it into TET so you get a pen attempt, it's definitely plausible within that amount of time. But that's the number that I usually shoot for, 400 memory fragments. As of the last few months, I've been doing a lot more, but the streams have been going for longer. So I've been doing something like 600 to 800 or so for that. As far as Blackstones, about 1,000 is where I like to be at for building fail stacks, especially when you need to build a lot of duo boss gear fail stacks for whatever item you're working on. However that is, so right around 1,000 for that. Sometimes with a bad luck, if you're stacking with Reblath, you might end up eating actually all of those. With a little bit of good luck, you'll be under that without too much of a problem. Then coming down to the types of stones to use, it's going to depend on what I'm enhancing. If it's a piece of armor, like tonight we'll be working on Pen Uragons, then I want to have right around 60 hard stones or so. This one can also get a little bit squirrely, just depending on your luck. Once again, sometimes duo is just hitting duo is just really difficult. Sometimes it doesn't want to pop at all, so you'll end up burning through a lot of those, and maybe you'll need to pick them up halfway through before you even get to use all of your memory fragments. But again, not necessarily something you can predict. So that's kind of what I shoot for from there. As far as stacks, I don't do the stacks ahead of time. I do them on stream during that session from there. And if I do a 400 memory frag, 60 stones, 1,000 black stones, with my Reblath gear setup, that usually runs me about 2 hours worth from there. If I want it to run longer, then I can. As far as the Reblath set that I use, I have 6 weapons and I think 7 gloves. Yeah, 7 gloves to use. The reason I have weapons and gloves is just because you never know what I'm going to end up with from grinding throughout the week as far as armor stones versus weapon stones, and I like to distribute them evenly while I'm using them so they're not really wasted. So sometimes I'll stack using armor, sometimes weapon. It doesn't matter. They're the same percentage. Just get to distribute the stones kind of evenly. I'll also take into account if I'm enhancing a piece of armor versus a weapon, I'll need some more to make the hards or sharps into concentrated stones from there. So as far as getting these materials, as you can see, I'm obviously putting together some memory fragment scrolls. I've got 400 of these, which will be 80, 400 of these individual pilafes, which will be 80 total scrolls to run. So plus I probably had 100 to 200 or something memory frags laying around. It's probably going to be an 800 memory frag setup, so I'm still going to pick up some more hards and that sort of thing. Getting these, I just put in min orders throughout the week so that I can get a decent price on them, regardless of what the average market price is. Just continually put in orders. I typically see if you wait until the weekend to do it, you'll end up paying a little bit more. People just seem to be enhancing or just playing in general a lot more over the weekend, so you might end up paying just a bit more than you would if you kind of set up for it in advance over the weekend. As far as Blackstones, you have some options. You could run relic scrolls as opposed to the pilafes. The pilafes are faster and do yield more memory fragments, but the relic scrolls, although much slower and might be nauseating to sit through, those ones will get you a lot more Blackstones, or rather the hunter seals that will trade out for Blackstones, which are really nice too. You'll still get them from pilafes as well, just not as many for it. Those get exchanged over in Tariff. The vendor over there will swap them out for you. You can right click and hit NPC location on the item, and it'll take you straight to it over in Tariff. Other options that you have for Blackstones, I used to back in the day before Star's End gear was possible for me. I would run Kadri pretty frequently to get Rosar weapon drops off the elites. Getting a good elite rotation works. You can also do that at Gahaz to get Blackstones. Nagas just flat out drops a large amount of Blackstones naturally, so you have that option as well if that's how you want to get those together, or maybe there's an event going on or something like that. Of course, you can always just grind different spots and put in pre-orders if you want to do that. Star's End is also a very high Blackstone drop rate as well, especially if you're running on a loot scroll there. It's pretty easy to see 70 plus Blackstones in an hour at that spot, and they're mixed up weapon and armor pretty evenly across the board. So you have some options there. Something else you can do is running these Mansion Voodoo scrolls. These actually do drop a decent amount of Blackstones for you as well. You also have the chance to get Kaffris out of these. Forest Fury, you'll get more Hunter Seal just on top of the Blackstones that they draw naturally. So that's a really good supply for Blackstones if you want to go ahead and run more scrolls than you were previously, because you know, there is kind of some amount of time that you're going to get tired of just sitting there running scrolls nonstop. But like I said, the longer you prep for it throughout the week, the better you can do. Those Voodoo Scrolls pretty much sit at minimum price throughout the weekdays, right at 630k a piece, and of course you need 5 of those to combine. They do go up over the weekend, and in fact, if we check it now, I'm pretty certain, it being a Saturday, that these are going to be not at min price. You can see there's only 41 listed here. They're on the up. Yeah, they're not sitting minimum price. So you definitely want to prep for these if you're going to do it this method. AP wise, you're going to want to probably be up there 245 Kudum plus for it, just because the time it's going to take you to kill it with less than that is probably not going to be something you want to get into. It might take you too long to kill the boss. He's quite a bit more difficult than the other scrolls that you're used to running, so just keep that in mind if that is the route that you're going to get your Blackstones together. As far as gathering for the Hards or Sharps, I don't do much life skilling personally. I know tons of people do, so maybe you're getting enough just doing that to support the enhancing session that you want to do. All in all, this usually runs me, I typically set aside an extra $1 billion or so. I think I had 1.3 in the Let's Spend It This Weekend fund. I'll probably still spend a little bit more, and then I typically buy some accessories to mess around with during the enhancing stream as well. So anything in the warehouse at that point will just be whatever we're spending for the weekend on the enhancing stream. But you can definitely get those materials for less than $1 billion if you want to do them weekly or whatever time frame you want to, or maybe you want to just go ahead and do it once a month and just do a bigger one. You could prep that each week, run some scrolls each week so you're not running hundreds and hundreds at a time, and then just sit down and do a very long hours of enhancing if that is your cup of tea. So there you go. That's the number of items that I typically get together. Your mileage may vary on some of that depending on what you're trying to do, and again, luck does play a key element in that. Those type of materials I typically get at least a pen enhancement chance, at least one click in there. There's plenty and plenty of times I get multiples, and there's been maybe less than 5 in the last year and a half or so that I've been doing it that I didn't get any pen attempt on it, just for it not going to. It happens sometimes. You end up building a new 100 stack or something along those lines, but can't really control that. RNG is RNG. So it's going to be it for this one. Be sure to like it if you did enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and if you're not exactly new to the channel, but you were maybe subscribed to my old channel, which was hacked and I'm still awaiting to recover, be sure to subscribe to this one so that you get notifications, because I'm going to continue uploading here until we can finally get that resolved. With that said, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.